Really, Adoakiabu. Lovely, excellent. Welcome back to TJ Talk. And today we are hosting the lovely Wamaitha Karanja. She is a headhunter, recruiter, and all-round talent scout, for lack of a better word. Actually, that's the correct word, talent. Yeah, you
I like
actually
that. Talent scout.
Talent is good. Talent is good. Yeah. So as usual, I've known WAMS for a while, professionally and also personally. But today we're on the professional bit. So WAMS, let me let you introduce yourself to the beautiful people of the world, basically. And don't forget to put your qualifications in there.
My fellow global citizens. Anyway, so yeah, Wamaitha, Karanja, as TJ has said, I prefer to just go as WAMS. I am a recruiter, I'm a headhunter, storyteller, and I'm passionate about learning and development and the development of women specifically. So as he said and coined, he just coined this on the go, I am a talent scout. So you need talent, I will find it. If I can't find it, then it wasn't there.
Wow, that's a bold statement. Almost sounds like Nakumat. If you need it.
Everything needed, we've got
Yes.
it.
Or if
Yeah,
you,
but let's not go that brand.
or like those guys in Nyeri. There's one in Nyeri that says, if we don't have it, you don't need it.
Yeah, it's true. So I tell clients, that guy in the sky you're thinking about, I will find him. If I don't find him, please just know either somebody in your organization didn't do the right mapping, or they didn't think through the JD, or just basically you shouldn't be my client.
So why headhunting and recruitment? Why did you choose that path?
I'll take you back a little bit. So I wanted to do law, and rather study law, not to do law. Those guys will say I do take. I wanted to study law, and KCSE kind of didn't agree with that. The guy who was marking didn't think so. So we went to Tribe and Para. The dean of law said, "Zay, you can argue a good case, but you don't have the motherfuls to do this thing." And I'm like, other than counting what I'm billing the people, why do I need motherfu anyway? So went to JQuat, and they had an IT program that I thought I could do as I decide what to do. And so started out as a diploma. Next thing I know, I'm doing an undergrad. And then I was kind of involved in a couple of, not riots, but, just unbecoming behavior. Let's put it that way.
Restlessness.
Let's just say I was more out of school than I was in Juja. So, and I was not those guys for coding. Those guys being looked for, I was not those guys. So my folks thought this is not a plan.
Hang on a second. So you are those chicks carrying stones with the blankets for the dudes to throw?
Z. I missed those riots because I lived off.
Okay.
So my dad and my auntie.
That's your story and you're sticking to it, huh?
They came to look for me twice. Like at 10 p.m. they told them in the library, they're like, chick. Anyway, so dad bundled me up, sent me to Sunderland. And that's when I finished a computer studies undergrad. But I knew by the time I was done with that, I wanted to deal with people. So what I was doing then was human-computer interaction. How do people interact with the code that we are developing?
Okay.
And I had a short stint working for our now CS of ICT, and we're coding for handheld devices. And we should have known they were going to be phased out really soon. But there was a fire burning, and I still needed to know something about people. So I signed up for, what are they called? Postgraduate. I had diploma, and I did HR, and I thought this was the way to go.
Okay.
And then I was looking for a job. It didn't even take me long. A company was looking for a hybrid officer. So they're looking for somebody with HR and IT. This sounded like the plan. So I joined the organization, but then now my proper love for recruitment started. And I've never looked back. That was 2007, and I've not.
Wow. So you're actually a computer geek, for lack of a better word.
No. Is this on air? No.
No, you're a computer person. And sorry, and where is this? You were in Sunderland. Where is that?
It's up north.
Up north is where?
It's near the Isle of Man.
Is that in the UK? Oh my God. And you don't have the accent. Oh my goodness, you know. Oh, wow,
Accent, accent, no.
I remember in my days, you know, on transit in the UK.
In your days in Alliance, I don't think so. So it's like what? It's 6 hours from East London. But anyway, it's like shags. Eh?
Oh, wow.
So 3 black people.
Oh.
And one of them was brown. My dad was very concerned. As in, the brown guy was being counted as black. He was like, I don't think this is a wise idea for my, for my Geshagi girl. You know me, I'm a Kiambu chick.
Yes.
So I think my dad, huh? Anyway, but long and short, here I am. And this is what I love to do. I love to do a good marriage. I actually think I'm a business cupid. Okay. So a good marriage between a good company and a good employer, and whatever that defines, whatever the definition is there, but bring you guys together and then grow you. How do we develop you to be your best self? Okay. Not everyone can be the CEO and not everyone can lead departments, but can you be the best employee in whatever sphere of influence you have? Okay. And you're doing this on your own? You have your own firm? So for the longest time, I was employed until I realized my biggest pay will not come from a payslip. And so I resigned in the January of 2018. Is it 2018? Yes. And by the end of 2018, I had my first client. Wow. Not by the end, but the end of that January. Sorry, I resigned on the 9th. By the end of that month, I had my first client. And I've not looked back. So I set up a firm called Colonel Associates, which of course takes me back to my IT background, because a kernel is the single smallest component of any operating system. And I felt it's also biblical, because if a kernel does not fall into the ground and die, then it cannot bear fruit. So if organizations don't choose to die to what they know right now, they will not bear fruit. And I thank God for COVID, because now you have to die, in the sense that your business strategy has to change. A business as usual, our new reality has completely shifted. So Kernel is, well, like we probably had a prophecy of how things were going to go. So that's been Colonel Associates.
Okay, cool. And I mean, the reason I actually brought you on, as I alluded to earlier on, is because we are now in this pandemic, and business as usual, as you said, it's going to change. It's not going to be the same anymore. So we've got people who have already lost their jobs. We've got people who are being, unpaid leave. Other people are basically being told, my friend, within a few months you're redundant. Companies have shut down.
No. The role is redundant, not the person.
Oh, the role. Sorry, my bad. Yes. That is why you're the expert. And that is
the alliance.
Yeah, the alliance. Yes, sir. No, we're going to leave this one down. But
no.
Business is closing as well. So
yes, that's sadly true.
We need to. I want us to speak to the individual. How do you get through that? Okay, we'll talk about some of your experiences that you've had with people, but how does someone get from having a job secure, everything has been working okay, breadwinner, and then tomorrow you don't have a job? I mean, since you're in that space of headhunting and recruitment, what would you give guys advice on? And do you guys also offer counseling services for those kind of things as well?
So can I start with the end?
Yeah. Okay.
So what we do is outplacement. Okay. Yeah, we have guests as well. So what we do is we have a service called outplacement. Outplacement really is when organizations in an ideal situation were either declaring some roles redundant, or they were, based on whatever reasons, needing to either downsize or completely shut down. Right? So what we do is we come in with industrial psychologists who then manage the change for the employees. Because, I mean, one morning you've been reporting to XYZ company, and tomorrow the company has shut down, like we're seeing with the manufacturing companies or the cement industry, right? There is no job to return to. right? So that's one category. And then, so we have to deal with that change. So you've been showing up at this company for donkey years or even for a month, but now you can't anymore. So how do we help you adjust to that? How do we help you manage your expectations? That's what we do. Then secondly, we take you through financial management, or what I like to call the money clinic. We partner with the founder of, or the originator of the word money clinic, to then grow your capability to deal with finances, limited and bulk, because chances are, you know, they gave you a bulk amount of money as you were exiting the organization under whatever format, because our contracts are different. So that person needs to know we are not going into quail business. We're not all going to go into Uber. We're not all going to go into, I don't know what the new trend is, or into Bitcoin or whatever it is, right? How do we then manage those expenses? Or if you don't have a salo coming in anymore, what do we do with that? And how can we show you to save even the little bit that you have? Then the third thing that we offer is now career mapping, which is where I flourish and enjoy myself completely. So career mapping helps you understand how you may have, like case in point, you may have studied computer science, but that's not your passion. You've been doing HR or whatever else you've been doing. How do we then help you re-career? Start from where you know, skills that you've acquired, competencies that you have, and your personal attributes. How do we then help you map that and move forward? Whether you're changing industries or changing jobs or going into entrepreneurship. So that's what outplacement looks like. That's in an ideal situation. Now, one where your arm sort of has been twisted, like say currently because of COVID and its impact economically, we are finding fewer companies are choosing to go that way, you know, the way of systematic exit. So they are, you know, declaring roles redundant and saying by X date you need to go, or XYZ parts of the business are folding into either shared services, etc. So at that point, all we can offer then is an individual-based response, not a corporate-based response, where we walk the individual through this process, but it's their initiative, not the client's initiative.
Wow. The outsourcing one sounds like a really good idea. I mean, it works better, but of course...
Not outsourcing, outplacement.
Outplacement. Sorry. You see the terms.
Outsourcing is the one where a company comes and requires a certain number of their staff to then be outsourced to an organization. They still perform the same services, but the company is not taking care of the overhead.
Okay.
That's the difference. So you and I, etc., we work for Kernel, but we are managed, in this case, Bloom Africa is the one that supports us to do outsourcing. So then you're employed by Bloom Africa and outsourced to Kernel Associates.
Okay. Yeah, so Bibi Namabwana, we shall have a list of terminology used in the recruitment industry so that you're sure how to go about it.
Refer here.
Yeah. But okay, so now that people are there and they're stuck in this position, so if it was a good one, you'd have the process way of moving on. If it's one where you wake up one day and the positions are redundant, business is closed, no money coming in, what would you professionally advise somebody to do? Because now nobody else is actually hiring, to be honest, at this stage.
Actually, hiring.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, interestingly, I have had 3 clients hiring.
Okay.
Interestingly, but it's for very, very skilled, or how would I put it? Extremely skilled positions that they've done very quick job analysis, and they see the only way they're going to navigate this if they have that skill, upskilled. So yes, in that regard. But a majority have frozen hiring.
Completely.
Right? And it's more of a wait and see. It's not frozen. We will pick this up in Q3 or Q4. We don't even know whether we'll have quarters anymore going forward. You know, nothing is going to, so there's a butterfly here. So nothing is going to remain the same going forward, right? So for that person who wakes up and finds themselves, I have nowhere to go. What I'm finding working is, one, appreciate the fact that disruption and interruption is here to stay.
Yes.
right? So once you've wrapped your mind around that, and the fact that every day you wake up and you've looked around and you're alive. You saw that thing of guys saying, you wake up and you don't even check whether you can walk. You're on WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, as soon as you open
You
your eyes.
wake up that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, as long as you're awake, you're on your phone, you're checking what's going on. But now, as long as you're alive, just know you're a candidate for death.
Okay.
And foremost, right?
Okay.
So whether it's death physically, forget because of COVID, just because whatever,
You're alive.
right? So whether it's, yes, as long as you're alive, you're a candidate for death.
Okay.
And it's an appointment you'll never be late for.
Okay.
Right? So in this case, what could have died is the position. What could have died is that solo income in that family or the double income. What has died is our systems of doing things. So now that that has happened, shift your mindset.
Okay.
Shift your mindset to accept the reality. It won't be easy, but the thing about human beings, we are so adaptable. Yes, we are resistant to uncertainty. We are completely resistant to uncertainty, which is why it's hard for us to adjust. But we are adaptable, and that's our underlying strength. So adapt to what has happened, accept it, and that's what I've found the World Economic Forum is calling post-traumatic growth, as opposed to post-traumatic trauma. And we're not downplaying that. Yes, we are going to have incidences or increased incidences of trauma based on what has happened. However, there are people who will look at it and say, okay, I am not excited about COVID and its effects. I'm not excited about the fact that I don't have a job or there's job insecurity. There's always job insecurity, either way. But now that it's here, what can I get out of it? And I've spoken to a couple of people and they keep saying for them, what they're seeing for their children is that they're learning non-classroom skills.
Okay.
And that's going to show on our waistlines. It's going to show shortly because our kids have all gone onto YouTube and they're cooking, right? Every child is now cooking. So every child is either learning how to fix their bike. Forget ride it, now fix their bike, etc. Yeah, so we are learning things that were not in the classroom. So accept that this is what is happening. But in the workplace, become creative. Become creative. You know, go back to the basics. If you actually had a bike because you enjoyed riding, it's time to convert it into a boda. Right? This is the time to actually say, I do have a negotiation ability. I can then negotiate how to sell. I have seen realtors who, of course, no one is buying houses now. The auctions have increased, but no one is buying the ideal house that they want. They've gone into farming and bringing produce. Whether you're a third party, you may not have the farm, but you're a third party, you broker and bring. I mean, we're in a gig economy right now. I do a gig, I get paid, I move on, right? Yeah. So I think it rises and falls on our ability to adapt and to shift our mindset that I may not have that rosy corner office that I thought I would continue having, but how do I change my mind to accept where I'm at right now and to innovate?
Okay.
How you'll innovate is by looking for disruptions in your industry. What has been disrupted where you perform? What has been disrupted and how can you then respond to that disruption? That's the person who will emerge from lockdown and COVID-19 most successful.
Okay. Wow. So we have to adapt and change. Well, and within that bit, there's always the psychological effect of the job being lost and whatnot. So how would you advise people to deal with that from your perspective as a headhunter and a recruiter? And of course, when you manage to outplace people and do all these other things, how have you managed to get guys around the psychological bit of, so I need to actually get off? Because some people will actually get into depression, pity party mode, or just stagnate because you don't know, you've never been here before. So by the time you jumpstart your systems, how would you, what would you tell them, in terms of getting their psychological bit ready, or, at least in tune with what's happening?
TJ, I like what you've said. How do we then jumpstart? right? Because we are down, we are down.
Yeah.
No one is disputing that, right?
Mm.
Economy has taken a nosedive, just about everything else.
Yeah.
So yes, we are down, right? How
Mhm.
we jumpstart will be based on how we accept what is going on,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
For we are not a very, how do I say it? Our culture, or is it our upbringing? Is it our training? I don't know.
Mhm.
Somewhere in between there. You're the guy for Alliance, so you decide. Somewhere in between there, we were never taught to seek for help when
Yeah.
it comes to me
Yeah.
and worse of your gender.
Yeah.
So somebody will literally sit there with all these problems that could have been helped by change management from a skilled or trained either industrial psychologist and
Yeah.
or psychologist or psychiatrist.
Okay.
But we start with our problems.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to talk.
Yes.
So we are all here hoping, we're waiting for, is it 6th of June? So we are all
Yeah.
there. That's where we've hinged our expectations.
Our hopes
Then,
and dreams. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you. Should my fellow Kenyans not get that message on
Yeah.
6th, then
Yes.
we crumble even further.
Yeah.
You get?
Mm.
But how's about looking at it from, I need help to even navigate what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are they called? Red Cross have, I think, there's a line they have with 4 digits. I forget. I look for it and give it to you, where
Yes.
you can call toll free, well, no charge, and you get to speak to a psychiatrist or a counselor, somebody who can walk you this journey,
Wow.
right?
I didn't know
We
that.
have
That's
companies.
great.
Yes. We have companies coming up, and they're open to the fact that we need to have our, is it called now, people and culture department? How
Yes.
do we then walk our people through this journey?
Yeah. Yeah.
We may not all be privileged to have that link with
Yes.
our companies, but there's somebody you can talk to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't sit and die alone, is
Yeah.
what I like to say. And I'm cognizant of what depression can do to a person, and you don't want to come out of that
That's
cocoon. And it's not because you don't want to, because you can't, because of what's going on. But don't sit alone. Reach out to somebody. Yeah.
Wow. I actually didn't know is that the birds or the butterflies or the bees? Which is which?
We actually have bees.
Oh.
I don't know. We have bees. This would have been your seat, by the way, if you
Oh.
had joined me. So
Soon.
we
Soon.
have
Soon.
bees somewhere there,
Ah.
somewhere
Okay.
there, and
Okay.
then we have loads of butterflies. But anyhow, yeah, we are in the environment. It's us who came to Karura. So yeah.
No, we must also just embrace this is it. I mean, you see now nature is taking back, in all over the world.
Yes,
Not there anymore.
it's cleansing. It's
Yeah. So
cleansing.
so in the same way, even we ourselves need to just go back, take a few steps back, and figure out how to rearrange what we need to do because we have kids, we need to eat, we need to, have a roof over our heads, and without a job, that's a bit difficult. And I didn't even know Red Cross was doing that. And I mean, and actually, if you can share the Red Cross number and any other number that is within that line, I'm sure people out there would really, really appreciate having that helpline, because some people don't even know they need that discussion with somebody up until
Yes, yeah,
they're in that position. Yeah, so it's
yeah,
difficult.
yeah.
As you said, for us men, so say I'm out of a job,
Mm.
and I do not tell my missus in the house that there's no cash coming in and we've got kids to feed. Have you ever faced such situations where uh, things just go south, and how did those people get out of it? Just I'm looking for a positive turnaround story to give the people out there.
So I think I'll be mute at this point because I don't have a positive turnaround that
Okay.
comes to mind right now. But I do have what I would call a developmental story. Let me not call it negative.
Okay.
So we were outplacing an agribees company mid last year. And one of the guys just came out and said, guys, from the time this process started, I knew it was going to come to an end. I haven't told Mrs.
Wow.
So what he intensified, he reduced the conversations with Mrs., but intensified his drinking, right?
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. So then there was always strife in the home, but he would deflect it. He would never let the conversation become about the lack of jobo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? And
Yes.
that is happening a lot. And the problem, I dare say, and feel free for all the people who are about to throw stones, chicks have refused to accept that we need to downgrade when things happen.
Yeah.
When ish hits the fan, you need to accept where you're at and say, I can downgrade. I will downgrade.
Yes, yes.
Because we're putting, and I'm not trying to say all households are run by men, but we are putting an unrealistic expectation on the guy who can't even tell you that he's lost the job in the first place. So our domains are about other things other than the fact that, chick, I've lost my job. I only have 2 more months of income coming in. If the company is gracious, this is where we are at. Savings are XYZ. This is what we need to do.
Okay, okay, okay.
And or have a man who can accept that the household will now be run on a single income and it's the missus running the household. It doesn't change who you are. If you're comfortable in your skin and you know who you are, it doesn't matter who's bringing in the income.
True.
What matters is first there's income. Let's start from there. And what we can eat, and our kids are not outside because, I mean, it's a reality. We've seen landlords remove doors and windows. You're like, where has humanity gone to? Civility, where has that gone to? So I wish I had a rosy story to tell you, but yeah.
Well, right now it's a bit tough. Of course, all we have is hope. Huh? That's basically that's a human.
Hope is not a strategy, though.
Yes, but right now we need to just have, let me say, a positive outlook. In terms of what's going to happen. What do you think?
Positive outlook.
Yes, positive outlook. So, in your frame of position, what's your outlook in terms of moving forward post-COVID? What should people expect? And be as blunt and brutal about it, because I don't think it's going to get any better in terms of employment opportunities and turnaround of that. But what can we expect from your professional perspective?
Well, I know things are not going to get better. They are not. I'm weighing my words carefully. But they're not going to get any better. Okay. And the sooner your mind wraps its head around the fact that this is our new normal going forward, this is our new reality, we are not going back to anything that happened before March 12th.
Okay.
We should have just seen the coincidence. It was March 13th and it was a Friday, when panic shopping started.
Yes.
We're never going to go back there.
Okay.
On a personal level, I've had to rethink my daughter's syllabus. I've had to rethink how is she getting her education transferred from teacher or from textbook to person.
Yeah.
Right? So it's rethinking those things. It's rethinking house helps. It's rethinking homes that had 2 cars. How do we then start having and dealing and being okay with either no car or 1 car?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not Ubering, So it's from that point of view. But I don't want to prophesy, let me put it that way, because you're asking what my prediction would be.
Yeah.
But we will come out resilient. We will come out knowing that the future employee is an informed, multi-skilled, and flexible employee.
Okay.
We will come out knowing that companies now need to adjust what they thought about their employees. They need, leaders shouldn't just be giving us every so often a Teams update, a Zoom update, or even, move your meeting on Friday to house party or blue jeans or whichever. Like, we need to now know, leaders need to be that much more connected to the individual who was producing for them. Right? The outcome of us is we'll have to be more disciplined.
Yes.
Because going forward, if I'm still working from home for another 6 months, I need to then know this disruption and interruption that I have accepted, I need to be disciplined because my boss now has completely moved from micromanaging And from having a warm body in the organization, right, who just comes in to log in and use free Wi-Fi, to having somebody who can still be productive at home. And don't just assume because I'm home that I can load on more work for me. Right? Because then we move away from what we've been preaching from pre-COVID about work-life balance. We need to move to work-life rhythm.
Okay.
Because TJ, you're now the dog handler. You're now a parent who is teaching more than the teacher.
Yeah.
Now you're walking in your dad's footsteps, you know, and then you're managing the home. You're still managing TJ Talks, and you're still running your business. All these things are expected of you at the same time. So it's work-life rhythm that needs to come out. The other thing that we are going to find coming out of this is people are going to learn nuances, the global nuances, for them to be able to say, I'm a coder, I can work for company XYZ from the comfort of my East African home. Right? I just need to know the nuances of the people I'm dealing with and that difference, especially if you've not been able to school outside, let's say, right? So the other thing that I see coming out of this is people are the new product.
That's a good one.
Yes, because now my skill and my time is what you're paying for, versus me applying for a job and then trying to grow and climb up that ladder. Now my skill, if I'm able to see the disruption in my industry, if I'm able to see, especially like in hospitality, the actual healthcare industry, the education sector, how do you come and convert syllabus into an e-platform? How do you do that, right? So you're meeting an actual need. If they're homeschooling parents, how do you, now forget the pseudo homeschooling that we've been doing, now the real homeschooling parents, the ones who had gone ahead of us, how do you meet their need? Yes, how do you meet their need? So that person who then understands that they're the product, you will bill accordingly. You will then get compensated accordingly. 9 to 5 has been shattered.
You know, we talk about, earlier on when I spoke to Eric Wainaina, and then there was Jimmy.
Yes, and I love Eric.
And the same thing has gone through up to yours, where they say, basically, know your worth. Hone your skill, know your worth, and then you can control the outcome of what you get paid for it. Yeah. So people being the new skill,
absolutely.
That is actually a very apt, statement. People are the new product. So
they are the new product.
Back to the office. Think about you are the product. How can you now sell yourself as a product to company X or service Y, to do the same thing? So, I mean, it's
let me just move a bit. Otherwise, I'm going to get a ton. That was not the plan of this. Yeah, because otherwise, I let me just, anyway, you can be enjoying the Mogomo tree somewhere there. Let me just try and look a bit normal as I move. Because, there, I was roasting. And then I was trying to be perfect about it, but it was not working.
No, it's cool. Vitamin D is good, but not too much.
Have you seen the size of my forehead? I don't need any more vitamin D on my body. Thank you. Well, it's a 5 head, but anyhow. Yes. So you were saying the two previous speakers, both Jimmy and Eric Wainaina.
Yeah. Both have the same thing that they say.
The same thread.
Yeah, same thread. So people must learn how to hone their skills. Basically, now in this case, reinvent, like Jimmy did. Reinvent your skill, and then from there, you become the product that that is desirable. So you need to figure out how to sell yourself now. And the other thing I really liked what you said is, if you had a bike, whether it be a motorcycle or a bicycle, you can now use that to get some revenue from that. Change how you think of things. So we can't all be Uber drivers, but you need to figure out a way of how to use the resources that you have around you. So I think it's a wake up call.
You have.
Yeah, it's a wake up call, and I think it'll never be the same. But anyway, I'd like you to give us a parting shot, just for just to compound what we've said. We may not have a good thing coming out of all this, but we as a human people can actually be the good thing. But yeah, sorry, it's your shot.
Let me take you 2 steps back. First, who defines what is good and bad?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where our problem comes, because then our expectations are not matched with our reality.
Okay.
So we're busy saying, I want the normal back.
Mm-hmm.
Who defined what normal was for you? We were moving at such a first rate and speed that was not necessarily good for the human population. I don't know if there are other people here. For for the human race. Thank you. Right? So this could have been a reset button. I think when we were setting this up, I told you press here. That's your F5, reset. So long press your F5 and reset.
Okay.
Right? Accept that we've reset.
Mm-hmm.
So reset your relationships. Whatever was not going right, look at this as a second chance.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever was not going right with your family, if it's redeemable, redeem. Right? If it's not, then make peace and move forward. Don't get stuck in before COVID.
Yes.
COVID ikuje tulikuwa tunafanya. Don't get stuck there.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's really, it will never let you move forward. Right? Then the other thing that you mentioned about going back to the basics. There is a guy who was working for a hotel, and I have liberty to share this, and he foresaw this, right? And so the way things are going, soon we're going to be let go. Initially, they had been put on hold and paid leave, etc. But the cycle kept moving, and he's like, what? The way things are going here, I am going to eat nothing, right? So he had a bike because it was easier for him to navigate traffic, etc. But he quickly had his bike fabricated, right? His bike was fabricated specifically for his industry. He now does cakes and pastry delivery.
Nice. Wow.
He's very clear because he dealt with them in his industry. He can then transfer that skill.
Yes.
Because we're not going to flood the market like you're saying, and all of us become Uber drivers. You know? But if you're a specific Uber driver and I deal with only transporting expectant mothers in labor, whatever it is, be specific, because you're using that skill of yours. You could have been a pilot, or you could be a pilot and you're an amazing drone pilot as well. Now is your if you're not flying, here's your time to use that to, I don't know, for companies who need to transport, I don't know, specific testing kits to far-flung areas. Become that person.
Like how they're doing in Rwanda,
Exactly. And Rwanda they took 3 days to get their e-commerce platform up. Three.
Wow.
There's something to be said about that company. I mean, that country. Well, it's run like a company, but I like that. But now I've even lost the trail of thought of where I was going. But anyhow, it's a cab system error, I think. But part in short, don't try and define good or bad or normal.
Okay.
Sit and call yourself a meeting. Call yourself a meeting, right? As we say here. And begin to do a proper skills analysis.
Okay.
What do I have in hand? How can I transform that into revenue? Understand your cash flow. Now become the business, because you're the product. Understand your cash flow. So that then you're not biting more than you can chew. And be very honest with yourself. Extremely honest with yourself.
Okay, excellent. So you heard it from the proverbial headhunter's mouth. Talent Scout. Thank you very much for your time. So people go out there, do some soul searching, and reinvent yourselves. But thank you for your time. We shall give you those details on the link for her agency, as well as maybe a few links that can assist you with the current state of affairs in recruitment. But other than that, keep a good head on your shoulders, stay positive, and we're going to get through this. Plus, we really have no option. We have no option.
We will.
To get through this.
We will. And we'll come out stronger. I believe that from deep inside. We will come out stronger.
So thank you once again, Wamaitha. Enjoy the rest of the suntan.
Thank you, TJ.
Yeah, we'll catch up later. All right.
Have a good one. Enjoy, my fellow citizens. Good.
Hello, Kenyans.